ancient people to write things down well. I'm not talking about the Egyptians or the Greeks. I'm talking about a civilization so ancient they make the pyramids look like a recent project. We're talking about the Sumerians. And trust me, what they wrote down could change how you see, well, everything. The Sumerians emerged around 4500 BC in Mesopotamia, what we now call southern Iraq. They invented the wheel, the first form of writing called cuneiform. Even the 60-second minute and 60-minute are we still use today. They were incredible. But here's where it gets really interesting. What's their relationship to us, to modern humans? Genetically, their direct lineage is lost to the sands of time, absorbed into countless empires that followed. But their cultural DNA, it's everywhere. Now, let's talk about the big one, their connection to early Christianity and the Bible. This is where your jaw might hit the floor. The Sumerians wrote epic poems and myths thousands of years before the Old Testament was ever written down. And in those texts, you find stories that sound eerily familiar. Ever heard of a man named Noah who built an ark to survive a great flood sent by a deity? The Sumerians had a story about a king named Ziggurats who did the exact same thing to survive a flood sent by the gods. They also wrote about a place called Eden, a paradise-like land. And what about the story of a baby set adrift in a basket on a river, only to be found and raised by royalty? Before Moses, there was the legend of Sargon of Akkad, with an almost identical origin story. So you have to ask, if these stories are so similar, why aren't the Sumerians ever mentioned in the Bible? The Bible talks about the Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Egyptians, but it's completely silent about Sumer, the civilization that came before them all, the one that arguably laid the groundwork for their cultures. The more mainstream, academic explanation is that the stories and cultural ideas of the Sumerians were simply passed down. They were absorbed by the Akkadians, then the Babylonians, then the Assyrians, and these were the cultures the ancient Hebrews interacted with. The stories were retold, reshaped, and reinterpreted over thousands of years, eventually finding their way into the texts that would become the Bible. It wasn't a conspiracy, just a very old game of cultural telephone. If you find this as fascinating as I do me a favor, hit that follow button and share this with someone.